Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday featured news thingy at the Ruby Tuesday. We have a little bit of competition about that, actually, that we'll tell you about all at the end of this video.
Hey! Yeah, today we're talking about the Jetsons! But first, we're going to need you to do a couple of things for us. Can you see that like button, the one that looks like a thumbs up? Yeah, we need you to click that. And then if you're watching on Dailymotion or YouTube, the subscribe one.
Subscribe.
Got it. Awesome. And the bell next to that. Turn those notifications on.
Shame.
Good job, everyone.
If you have a couple of quid and enjoy this video, it would also be the most fun if you could pop over to our Patreon page and support us there. We have loads of giveaways and bonus videos for you.
Excellent.
Mostly.
You should watch this video first, though, and then share it with your friends, and then leave a comment, and then you can go to Patreon.
And if you're still watching this video, thank you very much. You may remember the Jetsons from your childhood, or maybe you saw their straight-to-DVD WWD crossover film that came last year. Crossover film that came last year.
You know, the one where Big Show finds himself 100 years in the future, and George Jetson has to travel back in time to get a bunch of WWE superstars to stop him from taking over the world. What?
Brilliant.
We just traveled 100 years into the past!
Anyway, we digress. What Warner Brothers are actually doing with the Jetsons is making a new live-action sitcom version.
The Jetsons are the family from the future, from the perspective of the 1960s. Set above the clouds in Orbit City, George Jetson, his wife Jane, and son Elroy live an average life in the future with flying space cars and robot maids and all kinds of gadgets to get your work done in no time at all.
Today. George Jetson works as Spacely Space Sprockets for his grumpy boss Cosmos Spacely,
Jetson!
who seems to fire him constantly for any reason he can find.
You're
but
fired.
George always manages to get his job back.
What I say?
At first glance, this is fun, light-hearted cartoon series.
Elroy, you've been splitting atoms again.
Only a couple, Mom.
Now, we have seen what happened to the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo and even Transformers when they got a live-action version.
Mm-hmm.
They were all better as cartoons and as an impossible toy in the case of the Transformers. Why are they so complicated?
I don't know.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
Anyway, the point is that cartoon to live action remakes almost always seem to leave us longing for the cartoon version.
Yeah.
I can't think of an exception, except maybe superhero films?
Yeah, but that was not an easy path. And before the MCU took off, there were so many awful attempts.
So many.
So many.
They apparently have Family Guy executive producer Gary Giannetti on board for this live action remake, and we assume that this new show will be set 100 years in the future, as the original was set in 2062, 100 years after the creation of the Robo WrestleMania animated film, which was set 100 years from now. We think 2118 is a good bet. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be set in 2180.
Yeah, okay.
We also wonder if any new technology will be incorporated. The original cartoon created all kinds of gadgets way before their time. And although we're not living in the clouds with flying cars, we'll explain why later, we do have video calls and flat screen TVs, tablets, tanning beds, talking alarm clocks, conveyors, and there are floating concept cars, so who knows what we'll be driving in 2062.
It is early days for this remake, so we don't know exactly where it is going, but after digging into some of the conspiracy theories surrounding the Jetsons, we have a few ideas that you may want to incorporate, Warner Brothers, so listen up.
And there are a number of Jetsons theories that focus on the fact that we never see the surface of the Earth in the show. The Jetson family never visit it, despite often venturing off-world. Why could this be? What could be down there?
Donald Trump. Well, there are a few clues as to what lies beneath the clouds, although we get a glimpse in the Jetsons the movie as Rosie the robot pushes the button to make the family home rise up above the smoke.
It certainly seems like the planet has suffered something catastrophic for it to have gone from this to that in 100 years. Also, in the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, George Jetson comments that grass is something that he remembers from ancient history.
Grass, son. I remember it from ancient history.
Grass? Seriously?
I know, right?
That stuff grows everywhere. If the grass is gone, we can safely assume that so is every other plant. There is probably nothing but a post-apocalyptic wasteland below.
Oh no! And with the Jetsons being created right in the middle of the Cold War, it's not hard to imagine what could have caused that. Nuclear war was probably in the minds of the creators, so that may have destroyed the planet, and a select few have managed to preserve a civilization in the clouds.
You may have noticed that there are some similarities between the Jetsons and Hanna-Barbera's earliest eras, the Flintstones. The fact that some of these clues are about the Jetsons' planets are found in a Flintstones crossover makes the theories even more bleak, with implications for both families.
Clearly, the Jetsons and Flintstones existed in the same world. Their paths cross when Elroy, George Jetson's son, creates a time machine which malfunctions, drawing them to conclude that they have travelled back in time rather than forward as they had planned. Meet the Jetsons.
And for the most part, we concluded that too. I mean, the Flintstones have long been our go-to source for information about the Stone Age, right? Could it even be possible that it was never an accurate depiction of the Stone Age at all?
No way!
What?
Could the Flintstones possibly be set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland? Could the time machine have worked and actually sent them to the future, and one that they had never imagined for themselves?
There are many clues that the Flintstones couldn't possibly be a prehistoric society. They celebrate Christmas, supposedly before the birth of Christ, rather than the barter system would expect. They have an advanced economy, similar to our own. In fact, money looks very similar to ours. But check out that deposit slip.
Wait a minute. They have printed paper money, but they didn't have enough ink to write a deposit slip. Imagine being stuck behind that guy chiseling out his deposit slips. That would be pretty annoying.
Our best guess is that in the future post-apocalyptic world, the means for making paper and ink didn't survive, forcing the new civilization to resort to chiseling stone tablets. However, stacks and stacks of dollar bills survived the apocalypse, maybe in the bank safes, and the newcomers decided that rather than using them as kindling for their fires, they would reintroduce them into the fledgling economy.
If we discovered a primitive society with the same characteristics today, we'd suspect that they weren't primitive at all. They would either have been influenced by the outside world, or they were rebuilding from an earlier grandeur.
We discovered.
Especially
if they only listen to music clearly inspired by the Beatles or the Beach Boys. Oh, excuse me.
Beach Boy.
No, sorry. At this point, the theory seemed to be twofold. Either the Jetsons' home of Orbit City was only a temporary home while they waited for the planet to recover, or they were forced to return to a more primitive life on Earth for some other reason.
The first theory leaves the planet free from humans and allows animals to evolve without the humans constantly getting in their way. The animals form their own civilized society with jobs and language.
And when the humans finally return, they integrate into the system, as top dog, of course, exploiting all of the animals to perform menial and demeaning tasks while suffering great pain.
Instead of a garbage disposal, a pig sits under the sink. They use a bird's beak to play records. A whistle, Fred's work sounds when he pulls on the bird's tail feathers until it screams with pain.
That's horrible.
Another bird is his alarm clock while he turns it off by bashing in its skull. And they use a mammoth as
a vacuum cleaner.
All over again. Crack.com have expanded on this theory, saying when humans finally came back down to Earth, they'd face an interesting dilemma. While technological advancements had made life easier, the cost was too damn high. The solution? A weird nature-based hybrid. Why use motors on cars when humans can be engineered to be strong enough to propel them with their feet? Why use energy-guzzling machines when you could provide jobs and a way to contribute to society for the newly evolved animal population?
Or theory number 2, which was pitched by Chris Hardwick from Nerdist in an old podcast. Maybe at some point between the Jetsons and the future Flintstones, the robots became self-aware and decided to take over. Skynet?
Skynet fights back.
This forced the humans to flee to Earth.
It would explain why the Flintstones favour more primitive technology and animal cruelty over robot slaves.
Yep. In this scenario, the robots have cloned dinosaurs and sent them to Earth in an attempt to wipe out the humans. Also, the animals' increased intelligence can be explained with, which we assume with their DNA, must have been tampered with by the robots. And I'm just going to make up my own script.
Oh, we've been watching, believing to be a series of jokes about a Stone Age family having similar technology to us, seems like a much more sinister story.
Sinister.
The recreated sad remnants of a world that used to be.
I like how your voice went slower. So here's our pitch, Warner
Should we
Brothers.
listen back?
How about you blow our mind by creating a dark sitcom out of the Jetsons? A truly dystopian society. We are thinking something like Oblivion meets Elysium. How about you surprise us with something truly unexpected?
Please don't torture us with awful CG cartoon dogs again
Don't
and
do it.
mindless jokes about an outdated society in a futuristic world with no depth. You can do better. And how about you throw in some zombies for good measure? Too far?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this TV show pitch feature. We could use your help with something, actually. We used to do Tuesday Newsday as News of the Week show, but we have started doing features instead, and you guys seem to be enjoying this format more.
So we were thinking, what should we call it? It doesn't feel like Newsday anymore, but the rhyming words make me so happy. Is it a Tuesday feature day? If you have any better ideas, please leave a comment for us below. And whoever has the best idea should totally get a prize. Maybe like, let's go.
Yeah. Also, we came across a bunch of Illuminati references when researching this. Would you like to follow up a follow-up feature about the Illuminati and the Flintstones? Let us know in the comments below.
That would be fun. Everyone loves an Illuminati video.
I like the Illuminati, just period.
Yeah.
Illuminati.